Are we on the brink of a game-changing trade that could shake up the Vancouver Canucks roster? Speculation is swirling, and it involves a pivotal player who has been a cornerstone of our offense. Could this be the moment we see a blockbuster deal that not only reshapes our lineup but also redefines our path forward? Stick around as we dive into the latest buzz and what it means for our beloved Canucks. And hey, if you want to stay in the loop with everything Canucks, make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. The speculation surrounding JT Miller and his future with the Vancouver Canucks has been at a fever pitch lately. And now, it looks like the Carolina Hurricanes could be a legitimate contender to acquire him. This potential trade could shake things up in a big way for both teams, and as a passionate Canucks fan, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and concern about where this might lead us. Let's dive into the proposed trade. The Canucks would send JT Miller and Vincent Descharnais to Carolina in exchange for Sean Walker, Jack Drury, and Jackson Blake. Now, on the surface, this might seem like a steep price to pay for Miller. He's an impactful player, no doubt, but the return could be just what the Canucks need to reshape their roster. Starting with Sean Walker, he's a solid defenseman who brings a right-handed shot to the blue line. This addition could allow Vancouver to pair Philip Hronek with Quinn Hughes on the top pairing, which is a combination that has the potential to be electrifying. Walker could then slide into a second pairing role with Carson Soucy, helping to solidify our defensive structure. This move alone could help the Canucks build a more balanced lineup, which is crucial as we look to make strides in the competitive Pacific Division. Now, let's talk about the forwards coming back. Jack Drury and Jackson Blake are young and hungry, and they could inject some much-needed life into a Canucks team that has struggled with depth scoring. Building a new third line with these two alongside Kiefer Sherwood could provide Vancouver with the kind of depth that we've been clamoring for. Developing young talent is key, especially with the Canucks' history of relying heavily on their stars. It's about time we see more contributions from the bottom six. On the flip side, the Hurricanes would be landing a star in Miller, a player who thrives in high-pressure situations. Under head coach Rod Brind'Amour, Miller would likely elevate the game of everyone around him, fitting seamlessly alongside Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis. Imagine the offensive firepower. Aho could move to the wing, and with the depth it would create, the Hurricanes would be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs. Descharnais, meanwhile, would be a solid addition to their blue line, offering a style of play that's tough and physical, traits that fit perfectly with Brind'Amour's coaching philosophy. This trade could significantly bolster the Hurricanes' chances of making a deep playoff run, which makes it all the more painful to consider from a Canucks perspective. But let's pivot back to us Canucks fans. Do we really want to part ways with a player like Miller, who has been a central figure in our lineup? He brings a unique blend of skill and grit that is hard to come by. However, the trade could serve as a turning point for the franchise. The potential influx of youth and talent could be the catalyst we need to start building a more sustainable and competitive team. Honestly, I'm torn. There's a part of me that understands the necessity of this trade. Moving Miller could open up opportunities for others to step up and for the organization to pivot towards a more youth-driven future. But then again, can the Canucks afford to lose a player of Miller's caliber? It's a balancing act that makes my head spin. And you? What do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. Is this the right path for the Canucks to take? Could this trade serve as a fresh start for our beloved team? Or are we risking a serious setback by letting go of a player who has become a fan favorite? There's been a whirlwind of speculation surrounding the Vancouver Canucks lately, particularly with the futures of Elias Pettersson and JT Miller hanging in the balance. While I've previously leaned towards the notion that Pettersson could be the one on the move, it's time to turn our focus back to Miller. The chatter has intensified with the Carolina Hurricanes emerging as a potential trade partner, and I have to say, this could be a game-changer for both teams. Now let's break down a possible trade scenario that could see Miller donning a Hurricanes jersey. The proposal? The Canucks would receive Sean Walker, Jack Drury, and Jackson Blake in exchange for JT Miller and Vincent Descharnais. On the surface, this may seem like a hefty price for Miller, but it starts to make sense when you dissect the components of this deal. For the Canucks, acquiring Sean Walker provides them with a solid defenseman who can bolster their blue line. Imagine reuniting Philip Hronek with Quinn Hughes on the top pairing, while Walker joins Carson Soucy on the second pairing. This strategic adjustment not only solidifies their defense but also reflects their interest in reshaping the roster. It's a move that signals a willingness to invest in the future while freeing up some salary cap space. And let's talk about the forwards. Jack Drury and Jackson Blake are both young talents who could inject some much-needed energy into the Canucks lineup. Drury has shown flashes of brilliance, and Blake is a promising prospect with a scoring touch. Together, they could help Rick Tocchet build a revitalized third line alongside Kiefer Sherwood, enhancing the team's overall depth. It's about creating a new identity that resonates with the fans and gives them something to rally behind. Now, for the Hurricanes, acquiring a star player like Miller is a significant upgrade. He would seamlessly fit into their high-octane offensive system under Rod Brind'Amour. Picture Miller lining up with Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis on the top line. This combination could elevate their scoring potential and push Aho to the wing, creating an even more dynamic attack. It's a strategic move that could elevate the Hurricanes' chances of making a deep playoff run. Additionally, Descharnais brings a physical presence on defense that could complement Walker's skill set. As a right-handed shot, he could provide a similar style of play to Jalen Chatfield, adding an edge to their back end. The intensity and physicality he brings align perfectly with Brind'Amour's coaching philosophy, making this a win-win situation for the Hurricanes. But here's where it gets tricky. While I understand the rationale behind this potential trade, I can't help but feel torn about letting go of a player like Miller. He's been a cornerstone of this franchise, and his leadership on and off the ice cannot be understated. His intensity and work ethic resonate with the fan base, and I can't shake the feeling that trading him might leave a void that's hard to fill. So, was this the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, the Canucks could gain valuable assets that set them up for future success. On the other hand, losing a player of Miller's caliber raises questions about the direction of the team. Are we fully committed to a rebuild, or are we still in a win-now mindset? I want to hear from you, Canucks fans. What do you think about this trade proposal? Would you be willing to part ways with Miller for the potential influx of young talent? Do you believe this is the right path for the Canucks? Join the debate in the comments below. Your opinions matter, and I'm eager to see where you all stand on this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for the latest updates on all things Vancouver Canucks. Make sure to activate that notification bell so you won't miss a single scoop as we navigate this thrilling season together.